truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Little Shop of Horrors of Jesse Lee Peterson, Part 2. Let me go to my screen share. This is what I did with y'all the other day. Continued. And I'm not going to do too much of this, and then I'll open it up if anybody wants to come on. Christina, if you're still tuned in, I will open up the live chat. It's not even open yet. But I'm going to play a little bit of this, about 10 minutes. You'll see a great example of something that is definitely what I just described in that last video. And so you know, so you're aware, June 1st is World, not United States, it is World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. This affects 158 million people in the United States who are suffering from what is called CPTSD, Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. I have now gotten 2 emails from someone whose family was destroyed by this individual, Jesse Lee Peterson's cult teachings and his dehumanization of women. I've gotten 2 emails of destroyed families. I can't give the details right now because there are things legislatively in the works. Yeah, this whole month on this channel, I did a short this morning about Father's Day, but I'm going to make this about fathers and families. And this individual's teaching, yeah, it's not it. That's not it. Let's check it out. Now I did part 1 the other day. This was church service. He alleges that this is a church service.
Feelings of individuals.
Amazing.
And this is about the Uvalde shooting. This is what we're going to cover. And there's a guy that's going to come up and speak real quick. That's Jesse's comments towards him are absolutely narcissistic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And then right here, and I'm done with that. I want to know how the young lady felt about it. Yes.
So I kind of felt sad for the young man, you know, allowed his anger to get to him and kind of went crazy. It's kind of normal. I was listening to a guy on the radio. He said that they've been measuring this since 1965, these school shootings, and he said that there were 12 from then till now, to 1965.
That was what? 12
shootings in schools. So they make it sound like it's the end of the world. It happens every week, and 1 is too much, but there've been 12. And they go to extreme, we want to get rid of guns kind of methods, you know, taking away our Second Amendment rights. And, you know, which is, you know, this is how our country was founded.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay. Yes. And then here. How did you feel? How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. When you heard it, what was your first private thought and feeling?
I tried not to have any sort of feelings about it because I've just been working on that in general with, you know, but I initially heard about it through social media.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially with the younger generation, hearing it through friends' stories and seeing people talk about, you know, how crazy it was. And then within maybe an hour or 2, there were posts about gun control. And I was shocked to see that after so little time, people were starting to protest about this and not you know, think about a proper solution. And all of a sudden people were just bringing politics into
Yeah.
it. So I knew that, you know, there was an ulterior motive, there was a plan.
I've never seen church like this before. This is the whole time is men's opinion and talking.
And
nice.
and
you're right about that.
Yeah. That's one thing that I noticed really quickly.
I'm glad to see some young people understanding. We need some young people to grow up and understand. Otherwise, it's over. If
Yeah.
everybody crazy, nice. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right about that.
Yeah, when I saw the celebrities talk about it, and like all of a sudden, like, you know, I was like, what? You know, and I knew.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Because I noticed how they were just so outraged. Lord have mercy, what happened here? How is this going to happen again?
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. We need to take all the guns away. I'm like, how did that go together? You know what I mean? I'm going to disarm everybody so that everybody can be shot up. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even make sense. It would be like, okay, let's cry first, get the funerals done, then see what happened. But how do you bring in Second Amendment takeaway at the end of what's supposed to be such a sad story?
What is this? It's supposed to be such a sad story, Jesse. You don't think it is a sad story? A man of God, alleged pastor, doesn't think it's a sad story? There's no compassion here at all, no empathy whatsoever.
And they expect people to fall for it, and a lot of people are pretending to be falling for it. Yes, sir.
I think kind of disappointed that people don't see that he was an 18-year-old. He was a kid too,
Yeah.
and growing up, I bullied kids, and I was bullied, and it puts you in a dark place.
You were bullied as a kid,
Yeah,
and they put you in a dark place?
yeah.
What kind of place? Like how, what do you mean?
Depression,
So how old were you
hopelessness.
when you were bullied?
real young.
Oh yeah, and it made you depressed?
Yeah.
Really? And
Yeah.
why?
One, my dad bullied me. I was the only child, and he hit me, and it hurt really bad.
It was supposed to hurt. That's why.
Follow this real closely. Watch this. This man lacks empathy. He has a callous disregard for human life, and he claims to be a man of God. This is utterly sickening.
Why he hit
Well,
you?
maybe not. I don't know.
What hurt? The hit hurt or
The injuries were pretty bad. I like looked up child abuse, and mine looked worse than what I would see as considered child abuse. Yeah, a lot worse.
One time I wanted to go to school, and my grandfather said, "No, you got to stay home and plow the fields, get the fields ready so we can plant the seed." Right? I'm like, "No, I want to go to school." He's like, "No, you're gonna plow this field today," and so I was all mad, and I went.
Wait a minute. What? Look at where this person went. It's not about the individual who's telling him about his life experiences that he's still suffering from and dealing with. He's going to tell this train wreck of a story so that it invalidates this individual's life experience. Not an offensive week. This is their they do this every week. He doesn't have a Bible with him. He doesn't use the word of God. Exactly. It's all about this man, a narcissistic false prophet.
Went out and hooked the mule up to the plow, and I told the mule to take off, and the plow ran over my foot and cut it wide open. You can see the red. And I'm like, Dad, I cut my foot. Hoping he'll say, okay, you can go home now. He's like, well, if you hadn't been acting out, you wouldn't have cut your foot. And so I still had to plow the mule. Was that child abuse?
I don't know.
It's all
I
like
don't
how-
know what defines
If
it.
that was
Listen to this man's voice of kind of hopelessness. So you go to church and you come to God to find hope, to find strength, to find new life. There's no gospel in this church. There's no good news. There's no redemption in this, what he calls church. This is not a church. This is a synagogue of Satan, as the Bible actually refers to a church that is a synagogue of Satan. This is all flesh. This is all carnal. And this hopeless man will walk out the door having been invalidated and feeling just as hopeless as he was when he walked in the door.
wasn't child.
What he did to
If
me.
that
these people commonly and routinely laugh at things that should grieve and does grieve the Holy Spirit.
That
Didn't
wasn't
help
child
me.
abuse. I don't know what it was. I could see
What
the
happened to
red,
me
the
didn't
white
help
meat.
me.
What?
What happened to me, whether it was abuse or not, I think it was.
Yeah.
It didn't help. It didn't help anybody out. It made things worse.
He
I
made
think
me
for
try to
everybody.
mute, and then I had to still be happy. So I'm
Well, I
like,
mean-
wow, I made a fool out of myself.
See, even when he went back and tried to get some kindness and compassion for his story, Jesse brings it back to Jesse. Jesse brings it back to Jesse. And he doesn't bring anything to the Word of God or to the gospel of Jesus Christ. He's not given this man an opportunity to die to his old life and to find the life of Christ.
That would be child abuse today, right?
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
think I'm gonna call social service. They should go dig him up and punish him. I would call that child abuse. But anyway, go ahead. My point is that in those days, I didn't go home crying to mama, and she's like, "Oh, you've been child abused, right?" It just wasn't thought of. It was like tough love, grow up, deal with it. And it was like, there, you poor baby.
I mean, he just beat me into a depression.
Okay, and whatever he got treated like, whatever the abuse was, and it was actually abuse, is what formed this personality that he has, that has no regard for human life, dishonors the grieving process of the people who were involved in the shooting, and dishonors this man's pain and his childhood trauma. This man is not qualified as a man of God. He's not, and he's not qualified to counsel anyone.
And then, you know,
Are you
and he was
over-
happy because he didn't have to deal with me. So he
Oh.
could just neglect me. I mean, he'd be at the bars all night and,
Where was
be
your
by
mother?
myself all night. Different state.
Oh, were you raised with your mother?
I've had some years with her. I would go to her sometimes when I got a little older.
Are you over it now?
No, he's still abusive. I mean,
No, I mean, are you over it?
Well,
the
over
whole
what?
trauma of being abused.
she never really, I don't know if you ever really get over it. You know,
So you're not over it yet?
I don't think, I don't know. I probably not.
You don't know if you.
I don't know, so probably not.
He's not.
So you might still be in a dark place?
But see, Jesse's not over his childhood trauma either, because you can clearly see that. Because when you're over it, you don't keep repeating it over and over and over again, and you don't apply it to everyone else's life. He ministers from a wounded soul. Okay, he's talked before about the neglect he had, about his mother's anger, and he went into all that. I've got a video up where he talked about it 30 years ago, and he still talks about it all the time. And he identifies every woman based on what he got treated like. There's no exceptions to Jesse's rules.
Yeah.
And what makes you think you might still be there?
Well, I mean, I don't see things the way other people do, and I feel isolated. I am isolated, frustrated.
And so you think because you don't see things the way others do, you might be traumatized?
Just frustrated, annoyed, hopeless.
Well, why are you frustrated because you don't see things? You might be on the right track and everybody else sees it the wrong way.
Yeah,
You ever thought about that?
yeah.
Because every time the crowd go one way, that's the wrong road to take. So you feel isolated from who?
Oh, just certain things.
Is that a bad thing too?
Is it a bad thing? Yeah, it can be a bad thing. When
To be isolated?
Yeah, when people exclude you,
You're right, Atticus.
it's not easy sometimes.
Why not?
Well, because everyone else is included, and then I feel like excluded. Just certain situations.
So you want to be a part of the crowd?
Yeah,
But it's a blessing not to be a part of the crowd.
yeah.
You're really blessed to be alone.
Isolation is one of the biggest causes of depression and mental illness, just so you know. They've already proven that isolation leads to depression and mental illness. Community helps keep us mentally, emotionally, spiritually strong. Not this kind of community, not a person who claims to be a man of God and sits in utter darkness. I think this was really easy, really early in the book of God's book, and it was said of the first man by God. He said, "It is not good for man to be alone." That's from God. This man is a cult leader. They try to get people to isolate themselves from community and be loners and only listen to their voice. This is cultish.
But the devil's telling you, oh, they won't play with you. Look, they won't play with me. I'm so alone. Don't pay attention to that. You be glad to be alone, man, because the crowd catching hell. They are not happy.
Well, it's not just me, well, it's a mask situation, and
A mass situation?
Yeah, I don't believe in it and the way I see things is, it's not healthy for me, and I just see it different, and they want to force me to do that, but they won't let me be part of the group, and so there's other issues it's just like
But be glad that you can't be part of the group. I don't know what you mean, but if they don't want you to group, be happy about that.
This is not even the proper context for this. This should be in a private meeting. And this is just not the proper context. And Jesse doesn't have enough details about who this man is even talking about. He's just coming off the cuff with some stuff. Who are you talking about? What group? Your family, your workplace, friends, childhood friends? I mean, he doesn't even know who the group is. And I agree, there's some groups that are best to stay out of. This cult would be best to stay out of.
I mean,
That's a good thing.
I just want to help everybody there, honestly.
You can't help nobody.
I know.
Why you want to help everybody?
Well,
Here you are, want to be a part of the group. That's helpless. How the helpless person going to help somebody?
I just, it's just a system, and it's
give
so
him the
corrupt,
finger.
and everything's so stupid that it's just sometimes I see there's no point to people.
Did he just say give him the finger? I think he said give him the finger. I didn't catch that. I'm not going to run it back, but wow.
Because they just add on to the stupidity.
Absolutely. So why you want to be a part of the group?
I don't, and so
But
that
you just said you did.
well,
Yes,
yeah,
you're
so
right.
I can help the group. But if the
You
group
can't help the group.
right, so
The
what?
group can't even, nobody can help nobody.
So then, from the perspective of a shooter, what's the point?
What do you
I mean,
mean?
just go and do a mass killing and kill yourself. I mean, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, don't do that.
But I mean,
you take your joke
I'm
too
not
far.
going to do that.
It's not a joke,
But that's
Jesse.
what they want is so they.
This is what even this goes into psychopathy, a callous disregard for human life. It's part of the psychopathy checklist. This man is creating monsters. And like I said, I've received 2 emails from people telling me personal stories, no details, and I'm going to get more of how this man has destroyed their family.
They can, take away guns, which guns is not even the problem. The
Right.
problem is people get bullied. The problem is,
But when
it's a deeper
bullying
problem.
become a problem, though? Ever since human being been on Earth, somebody been bullying somebody. You know what I'm saying? If I had gone home and said to my grandmother, "Oh, they bullied me at school today," you know what she'd have done? She'd have whooped me. She'd like, "I'll show you bullying." There's no way I would have.
I mean, I've seen kids singled out and just made fun of by everybody, and everyone laughs at them, bullies them, and then eventually they have a meltdown, and then they come to school and shoot up a bunch of people.
What weak kids, huh?
I don't know.
When I was in high school, I had a big head like my dad. I still have it. It's not like I got rid of the head. But now, and then as a little kid, I was sometimes.
You know what the purpose of demons? You know what their function is? They come to torment. Think about this laughter. What is inspiring anybody to laugh? First they were talking about the mass shooting. Now they're talking about this young man's life. And these are grievous situations. This is heartbreaking. I thank God for the people who emailed me and actually been on this channel and seen this content and came out of this mess. This is what real men of God and real women of God, they contend for the faith in opposition to men like this. This is and this man is one of the ones most left alone because of his political rhetoric.
I feel bad about it, but we were teasing other kids with defects.
I mean, it's when the whole group singles out, one person, and then they just lose it,
I know, but that's life.
I mean,
I think what the difference is, you have parents at home that are strong. They don't put up with the crap, so you're not going to put up with it. You're not going to be like a baby with little things, right? But
what is wrong
kids have always done that. But we didn't have female counselors telling us, oh, it's normal to be emotional. It's not normal to feel that way. You know what I mean?
There's no focus
I
on
not
have
God.
a
normal.
hard time, listening. I'm sorry.
I want you to get over that, though.
I mean, you never really get over it. It's wrong to, as a group to single out someone else and bully them, and the ones that
You're
are
right, it's
bullying
not right.
are also getting bullied. So everyone's getting bullied.
Right.
So
So how you going to deal with this? Everyone is going through the same thing. How are you supposed to handle it?
I mean, it doesn't matter. What does it matter? It's like, and I think I get onto another issue,
Zero.
and that I don't know if this fits together, but there's a car pollution issue, and the air is it's terrible. And I see every person that's going to be is going to just contribute to the terrible air.
Nice.
So if you, I think there's 20 kids. And I mean, I like kids. I like people, but I mean, 50 years from now, that multiplies into a bunch of people that add on to polluting the air. And then the rest of us have to breathe the polluted air.
Nice.
So-
Get a mask. That's the solution. But you worried about the wrong things, man. The pollution is not as bad as they pretend, because they just want to take away your gas car and put you in an electric car.
I mean,
And so they're pretending it's bad.
You could smell it, though. I mean,
Where you live?
we went to downtown L.A.
No, that's the whole.
We live in Santa Monica, and you can kind of smell it a little
That's
bit
the
there.
order from the drug addicts and the alcoholics
No,
on the street.
it's pollution from the traffic, exhaust pollution, and
But how
it
can you
adds up.
tell
You can
that-
see it in the sky, in the horizon. It's thick, and
Amazing.
we're breathing all that. I don't agree with it.
don't?
I think air is number one. A person, clean air is number one. If you don't have air, that's the first thing that's going to get you, and then water, and then food.
Amazing.
So
Well, I'll come back to you.
yeah, he's younger, and I was wondering what he was going to say.
You had your
He
hand?
had his hand up.
Okay. Thank you. Well, you want to
Okay, now here's where it gets disturbing. And somebody, I think it was Gordon. Was it Gordon? Was it you? Who got on here and said something about the fact, or emailed me and said that this was really disturbing and it involves kids. I mean, there's something that I think of that these men are involved in this man's cult, but then it's getting passed down to another generation. And this is going to be, if this doesn't shock you and break your heart, I don't know what would.
say?
I just want to answer a question.
Okay. About the kids?
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 10.
And it's your first time here?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How did you hear about us?
My dad would always listen to you on his phone.
Amazing. Is your dad alpha or beta?
I'd say it's alpha.
Nice. So how did you feel when you heard about the kids being shot at the school?
I felt just a little bit emotional because I feel like no one deserved it, including the shooter, because the shooter was going through something. Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and I feel bad for the kids because they never got to grow up, and yeah.
Jesse don't feel nothing.
Amazing. And so did you talk to your father about it?
No, not really.
And why not?
Didn't really think about doing it.
Nice. It wasn't that bad, right?
Nice that you didn't talk to your father about it. But if your father's listening to this man, he wouldn't have been much help for you at all.
It was pretty bad to me because
Yeah, it was.
I think it's pretty awful how someone would just go to a school and shoot up kids.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happening because we have evil in the world today.
Yep.
It's alive like never before. We're good, but don't let it get to you too much.
Yeah.
All right? Nice. Well, I'm glad you're here, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want to do it?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How old are you?
13. I'm his brother.
Oh, you're the brother?
Yeah.
Oh, so how did you feel when you heard the shooting?
I didn't really feel anything. Like, it wasn't me, so I just don't really concern myself with the shooting if it wasn't me in that situation. And so I'm like, oh, stuff happens, like, and...
Nice.
And Jesse applauds that. Wow.
And, like, why should I concern myself with that? So
There you go.
Mm-hmm. And
Amazing.
Also, another thing about, like, taking away the guns, I don't really get why people are trying to take away guns. It's kind of like anything could be a weapon. Like, I could just throw a chair at someone. Like, are you going to ban chairs? No. Are you going to...
That's right.
Are you going to ban pencils because of the John Wick movie? No. Like,
That's right.
And, like... It's just, I don't get why everyone's, it's like, I don't get why it's such a big deal. There's shootings in the past, like...
And it's going to always be shooting.
Yeah, like always. Yeah. And just like, it wasn't as bad as it is now. Like,
they want to take away your guns because they want to control you. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason.
Like, also that one shooting, like, with the bank robbers, the two guys that, like, robbed the bank and stuff, and, like, they were shooting, like, stuff like that. They didn't say anything about, like, guns that moment.
That's right.
Like, and now they're all worrying about, like, a little shooting that, like, I know it's not little, but, like, geez, I'm so cold-hearted.
But you're right.
Yeah.
It's not a happy thing, but
Yeah.
it's not something you need to be identified with.
Yeah, like, why should I be worrying about that?
That's right. Absolutely, man.
And
what's your name?
Jaden.
Jay?
Jaden. Jaydn.
Welcome, man.
Thank you. And also another thing, when you said the meal to go and cut your foot, and you said, like, child abuse and stuff, that's not really child abuse, like...
It's not.
Yeah, not at
it's
all.
It's like if you hadn't act out, you wouldn't have got your foot cut.
Yeah, like, you did that to yourself. It's like me running and then tripping on the pavement and slapping my little face on the concrete. And then, and, like, going to my mom, and then my mom saying, oh, you would just walk it off, you're fine. That's not child abuse. Like, if I'm okay, if I'm not dead, then I'm probably okay.
That's right.
Or if I don't have no broken bones.
They're laughing about this.
See, we got to train the young kids to wake, because the children are a lot training the young people to be weak. Mm-hmm. We need young people to grow up strong. Mm-hmm. Men and women, boys and girls.
This is pure.
Right on, man. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Also, one more thing. Beta. Okay. Anybody want it?
Okay. I'm gonna tell you, in spite of that, also, I'm not gonna show you all of this, but I'm just gonna see if I can move it over here. These comments. This kid is great. Then they talk about light skin. The comments that are up in this feed and are just absolutely mind-boggling. Let me see if I can scroll it. Okay. Jaden, the white guy, not Jaden Smith. I mean, LMAO, this kid. Another one said up here, this kid gets it. He's an alpha. Give these two young men a couple of ARs. That's in his comments. All right. This man is dangerous. And this is the type of political rhetoric that kingdom men and disciples, we need to stay out of this. We're not representing in that way. Whoosh. I'm just going to leave it right there. I got the chat turned on, the live stream turned on if anybody wants to hop on. The link is in the description, I think. Let me check it out real quick. Christina, if you want to come on, I got room for you. Yeah, the link is in the description to come in on video. It's shocking. It's shocking. Offensive wheat. That's spiritually offensive to the Holy Spirit. Praise God.